Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Combiner Wars Voyager class Motormaster. The leader of the Stunticons finally comes to us in Wave 2. And you know what that means? Menasor is just around the corner. For the package, very similar to what we got with the other Combiner War figures in terms of the black background here with the red Autobot logo, Transformers, and then Generations right up there. Got a really cool artist image of Motormaster. And then on this side, you can see that he's part of 3 of 5 for Menasor. Yeah, can't see it. There it is. But then you also see an image here of that kind of looks like Unicron. Come around here to the back, you got an image of both his robot and vehicle mode. You see that he transforms in 10 steps. And it says, Motormaster punishes enemies and allies alike with the brute force of a tyrant, breeding fear and hatred in all who encounter him, even his Stunticon teammates. And then you got it in Spanish and French right there. But the biggest thing is right here. Wave 2 consists of dead-end Motormaster, Breakdown, Off-Road, and the final aerial bot that will go to completing the Superion. And you also see that Dragstrip is here, but he came out in Wave 1. But these are all 5 that combine to make Menasor, and it really, I do think, looks really very cool. I'm so excited about it. So for the packaging, though, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Motormaster open up and out of his packaging. And as I said in my review of the Optimus Prime Combiner War figures, I really do feel that this mold was made for this guy. I really think that he looks infinitely better than that Optimus. Now, Optimus, it's not a bad figure. I just really think that the overall aesthetic for him really does nicely, I guess, capture that more Motormaster look. It is very similar. There's a lot more that's remolded on here than I thought would initially be on here at first, and I'm really very, very impressed with it. Now, getting the comparisons out of the way right up front, here we have Optimus Prime, and like I said, I mean, the Optimus Prime figure was never a bad figure. It didn't say Optimus to me more than anything, but you can see a lot of differences here. I mean, one thing that I noticed right up front is he's got this wind vane. This actually moves up, and this is the only thing that's different in terms of the transformation, but you can see that's molded in there. Optimus has this kind of overhang here with some little lights on here. He really doesn't have that. He has small little bits right there, but come around here to the side, I mean, you can see very minor differences, but it's all throughout the actual figure. I mean, you look here, I mean, this is different than this is. This is molded differently. You got these side bits right here. This is all molded in there, nicely painted purple. I mean, so a lot of differences throughout here. You come around here to the front, and the grill is different. You can see, actually, he's got a really nice Decepticon logo on the inside there, which I think looks really cool. Very similar here with these little pieces right there, but the side bits are different. You got a little hook kind of thing right there and different headlights. You got that more Optimus Prime look with the 2 little lights right there, but a lot of just differences. Now, the legs I don't think are really all that different. Those totally look identical. So I think the lower leg section is different, but looking at the section on the back here, which will become his kind of crotch piece, I guess, in Menasor mode, is different. You do have his weapons right here. I'm just gonna pull this out, get this out of the way. Yeah, if everything else is basically the same, but you can fold this down. You can see that those are different, and then this whole back section here is also different. So I mean, it's a similar look, but it's vastly different and much better, I think, on Motormaster. Now, getting Optimus out of the way, we'll take a closer look at how they stack up in robot mode here in a little bit. I do wish that some of the paint applications were a little bit better on here. Much like Optimus, they didn't paint the sides, so you got the windshield here, and then you come around here and they just stop. I mean, you got the purple color right there, but it should carry over onto that side, so that's a little unfortunate. I really do like the nice silver paint here on his weapon. It's kind of weird. You can't really, I guess you could, if you wanted to, you could put that there, and you could put that, well, you can't even do that. That doesn't even fit in there. So you do have to tab it together. Get that out of the way. So you have a little tab right here, and then a little slot. You just put the 2 halves together, just like so, and then you put it right in there. What's weird is you can see that there's little groove sections on the side, and then it's slotted on the actual handle. You would think that you'd be able to put it here, and you can, but in doing so, kind of pushes it apart a little bit. So, I mean, it does kind of fit. I mean, it's not falling out. Oh, well, okay, well, I guess it does fall out a little bit. So I guess you could do something like that if you really wanted to. Just depends on your personal preference, but I like the silver on here. And you can see it's basically a gun and a small sword, and then you can take it and actually combine it, flip it around like that. Hey, Combiner Wars, and you can have a big sword with a handle, which kind of looks ugly. I'd almost want to cut that off just because it's kind of ugly. But setting that off to the side, great looking vehicle. Now bringing in that drag strip just for size comparison here, you can see that he's a smaller car and this guy's a big truck, but that's basically what you're looking at. These are the first two Stunticons that we've gotten. The rest will be coming out with Wave 2, as I mentioned in the beginning. So we're finally going to be able to both complete the Superion and Motormaster basically at the same time with Wave 2, so I'm really happy about that. But size, I mean, he's probably a little bit small for a truck. I don't think a car is going to be as long as a semi is, but that's okay. It doesn't bug me too much. Does have a very Galvatron feel. I've seen some people actually say that, and he does kind of resemble Galvatron here in the vehicle mode, but I dig him. Now, for the transformation, as I said, it is exactly the same with the exception of these pieces. You literally just fold those forward. That's the only difference, and there's no point in me going through the whole transformation for that. So to shave some off of the video, we're going to do some movie magic, and we're going to go from Motormaster looking like this to looking like this. And as I said for a long time, I really do feel that this mold was meant for Motormaster. Now, as I said, the transformation is exactly the same except these pieces. So once you get to this part, take these, fold them back, and boom, that's the transformation. Now, it does basically still have the same problems here in robot mode that I didn't like with Optimus in terms of the ratchet joints. You got either way too far of a spread leg look or too close of a look. I wish I could spread them a little bit more. That's just a ratchet joint aspect. I mean, because you see, I think he looks better like this, but then the little hump in the ratchet joint makes it just pull right back in, and that's kind of unfortunate. But I mean, honestly, this guy's going to be set up as Motormaster or Minosaur, so I really don't mind. Now, like I said, there's a lot of stuff that's remolded, both in vehicle mode and robot mode. The legs from the thighs down are all basically the same as Optimus. The only thing that is different is probably the actual color, but I think they did a good job of basically reusing. I mean, see, this has a very Optimus Prime look, but then taking that silver away and then putting the purple on there and taking the silver off of there and everything, and obviously changing that to black, getting rid of the yellow on there. I mean, it kind of gives it a different look, but the upper arms, they are molded differently. It's hard to tell, but right up in here, you don't have the same detail. Like right in here, it's actually smooth, whereas there's some actual panel lines right on there. The hands are the same. Obviously, these little, I'm knocking everything down. These little side panels are a little bit different, obviously. So that's some of the differences. The chest here, much different. Obviously, that has that Optimus Prime look. The upper forearm here, or I'm sorry, the shoulders are obviously different. This is just this open section here with the Autobot logo in here. This is all molded with some nice purple paint. So there is a lot of those differences. Obviously, the head's different. I love what they did here with the head. I mean, it's got that box look that Motormaster should have, but it's not just a box and then the head has to be articulated on the inside. The whole thing is articulated, which is great. I really dig that, and you can see it looks up and down fairly nice, so you get a pretty good range of motion with it. And overall, I mean, it's, you know, it's flat, it's kind of blocky, but that is so very Motormaster-ish that it really does not bother me, and that's why I was saying from the very beginning with Optimus Prime that mold is just, I think, better suited for Motormaster. And I really do dig the way that this guy turned out. It's very, very impressive. Now, weapon-wise, like I said, you can separate these and you can put his sword. It's kind of a hard thing. It doesn't fit in there very good. There we go. You can put his sword in there. You can have a gun right there, and I mean, that's cool. And then bringing in his other Stunticon buddy that's currently out there. Here we have Dragstrip in his robot mode. And again, this just looks really good. I've, for the longest time, have said that what Hasbro needs to do is make smaller size limbs and like Voyager size bodies. And I love the fact that they're doing it. This is exactly what, for me as a collector, I've wanted for a long time. I just really think that this scales so much better and gives a better proportion looking combiner. I just absolutely dig it. Now to go to his torso mode and articulation, I should touch on that. The head, you could see, rotates. You get a pretty good up and down range of motion with their shoulders move around, in and out. He bends here at the elbow. I still don't like that when you bend this back, this whole section is kind of loose and doesn't actually lock into place. That kind of stinks, but it's, again, just done that way to facilitate the transformation into torso mode. You got his waist that moves around. You got his hips move forward and back, in and out. The ratchet joints are something that I don't particularly like, but I bet I could probably take this apart and shave that down and get that spread for his legs that I really kind of want. I could probably do that myself. Bends here at the knee, and then the foot has some pivot, but for his limb mode, or torso mode I should say, you're going like this. You open this guy up, and then here's the head reveal. Really very nice. And you know what's really weird is this whole chest, it absolutely does have a very Galvatron from Age of Extinction look with the round and open hole thing here. That's kind of silly if you ask me. So you're going to tuck this up just like that, and here you have his torso. Now for me personally, I think he looks a little bit better if you don't attach these. I mean, you can still leave them up there, but if you keep them more straightened out, I think that looks a little bit better in terms of a torso. It's a little bit better proportion, and you can still leave this up. It still looks okay. You just can't tab it down. So keeping that up like that, and you can even close this. And one thing that I really do dig is that even though you have this giant chest thing here, it does kind of look like Blackjack. And here's Blackjack. I'm going to take a look at this, and when you open this up, you actually transform Blackjack into his car mode, and you stick it right in there, a la his G1 self. But if you don't have this, in closing that, it kind of looks like it already there. I mean, because you have, you know, like the front windshield and back windshield, and that's kind of what these sides here kind of remind me of. So you do have that. Now, depending on the orientation that you want to use for your Menasor, like I said, I like using drag strip as an actual arm. So you just take this, and like with all the other Combiner War figures, this just slots right down, kind of. That's a little stiff. There we go, and that popped that loose. Let me get that back in there. There we go. You can see that you can set that up just like so. And again, I'm absolutely loving this. So one thing that I've noticed is that these are actually hard plastic. I thought that would be kind of rubbery plastic, but it's actually not. That's quite interesting. But you know, some people will prefer to have drag strip as a leg. I prefer having them as an arm. It just gives that more Menasor kind of look that I grew up with in terms of the cartoon and G1 toy. So you can do that. Obviously, you can take his sword. You can combine this. And then you got the little slot right here that goes all the way through. So you got this really big handle that he can, you know, pop off of it, the arm, and you can have that. And I really am liking the way that this looks. It's really cool. I cannot wait to get this fully combined with the rest of the Stunticons, because I think that this is going to have an incredible look to him. It just has a much more overall better look and feel than that Ultra Prime figure. And I just think that Hasbro is really nailing it with these Combiner War figures. I'm really quite impressed with them. I'm excited. It's really all it comes down to. I am so excited with these Combiner War figures. And just today was the unveil from the 2015 Toy Fair that we're getting a 6-figure combiner of Devastator. It's all of our G1 Transformer kind of collector's dream come true with some of these figures. And I'm just giddy to be getting them, but this guy is terrific. Now, if you are interested in picking him up, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on that link down in the video description. You go to Big Bad Toy Store and you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection today. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/SteamBotimus. and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my new website at OptibotimusReviews.com, where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optibotimus t-shirt. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.